Welcome to my next tutorial on using methods. In this example of using methods, we're actually going to pass down an argument from the main method to the next method. But first of all, let's set up the method that we're going to have, public static void, and I'm going to call this one predict raise. And this method is going to have a parameter sent, an argument sent to it that will be a double value, and I'm going to call it money amount. Now, a couple things we should look at. When in our main method we pass information down to another method, that's called an argument. So an argument is the value or variable that is passed to the method. When the method receives this argument, it suddenly has a name change and gets called a parameter. So the main method passes an argument. The other method, in this one case predict raise, receives what's called a parameter. Arguments and parameters must be of the same type, so they must be of the same variable type, but they may have different names. They don't have to have different names, but sometimes it's a good thing to keep your name separate from your main method to your other methods. So in this one here, let's set up a little double variable, and let's call it salary. And we're going to give it a value right now, let's say $458.50. So we have this double variable, $458.50 in the name of salary. We want to pass this information down to our method here and have it be called money amount. Well, let's first of all look at what our method wants to do. Our method wants to take money amount, but let me first of all set up a new variable, a new salary, and I'm going to say new salary equals money amount, and let's say that we're going to give them a 10% raise. I'm going to times it by 1.10, and then I want to print the salary, print the new salary. System.out.print line new salary. So here's what our method's going to do. It's going to accept the argument from the main method. It's going to take whatever the main method sends it and put it into this variable called money amount. I've set up another variable that is just able to be used in this method called predict raise, and that variable is called new salary. New salary equals a money amount, so whatever was passed down to it, times 1.1, which will be the same as a 10% increase, and it will print out our new salary. But the question now is, how up in our main method do I call it? Well, I simply want to call predict raise, and I want to pass down to it my salary. So I'm going to call predict raise, I'm going to pass down whatever is in the salary variable. So in this case it's $458.50. That value will go into the money amount to be used for a calculation. Let's run our program and see what it looks like. Our process is complete and it's giving me the answer of $504.38. So it looks like it's working. So again, just to kind of go over what's happening here, we have this variable up here called salary, but we want our method to predict the raise. And I'll show you how we can use this method over in a minute. So we're calling predict raise and we're passing the salary argument down to the method. Again, when it comes into the method, money amount is my parameter. So the parameter has whatever the value was passed down to it, and we can do a calculation with it. Now here's a wonderful thing about methods is that we can reuse it. So we can reuse the same method with a different argument. So say I have a double Bob salary. And we're going to say that's equal to $800. We can also predict the raise of Bob's salary by using our same method. We can pass down Bob's salary instead of salary this time. Let's run that, and we should get our first value, so it should be doing 2 calculations here. So there's our first one right here, and here's our second one. The variables are, there's a rounding error. We'd have to really kind of format that too to get rid of those decimals. It's just the way, it's just a little Java error. But what we're doing is we are reusing the method to do 2 salaries. We could also do this. So we can just pass down a value to the method. So I can say predict raise. Let me type in an amount here. Let me say if my salary was $32,000, what would it predict my raise to be if it's a 1.1 increase? And there we have that. My new predicted salary is $35,200. So we've done a couple of things here. We've passed down an argument to the method. Remember, the method changes what's called an argument and makes it a parameter. We have it going into a different variable, so we're setting up our variable here for what's going to accept it, doing a calculation to it. But once our method is working fine, we can reuse it. And we reused it with Bob's salary, and then we reused it by just passing down a value to it. So there is our example in our tutorial for using methods that accept parameters, so a method that can actually pass an argument down, so pass some information down to a method and reuse it, and the method can be used in different situations.